Future Mill already planning the names of my non-existent and unplanned kids. Hi guys, I'm seeking advice because I'm still stuck in my miserable situation. I have been living abroad in Europe for almost 4 years now. Shortly after moving abroad I met my current BF. I moved in with him very quickly due to my situation and corona lockdown. He is a good guy and my best friend. But his parents are horrible. In the beginning I thought they were nice and very caring/giving. But it turns out these are just their way of manipulating people and the situation. He is an only child and they are absolutely obsessed with him. They call 10 days a day, sometimes 10x each. On our first road trip we went on in the beginning of dating, we couldn't even get through a song without one of them calling and checking up on their precious son. When I finally got fed up with having them call, I made a comment asking if they really had to call that often, to which he snapped at me saying they do everything for us. He has since apologized, but since that day I have realized my place and how I can never win against his parents because he and I are indebted to them since they buy our attention. They are way too generous with their money and get very offended if you do not take their offerings. In the beginning it made me so uncomfortable because I have always been extremely independent and don't want money from anyone, but in order to keep the peace I learned to just say thank you and shut up about it, or else I would hurt their feelings. His mom expects me to be my BF's mom. She is always asking me what I am feeding him and if I am making him lunch before he goes to work. She will come over to our house unannounced and start doing our dishes and tell me to come help her, not her son of course. His mom is very needy and expects a lot of attention. She talks non-stop about how perfect of a kid my BF was and how she was the best mother, and is always talking shit on other mothers she sees because only she is right and perfect. She has been asking me when I am going to give her a little, my boyfriend's name since like the first month of dating. So she just wants me to have babies and let her control their lives too. I know I would be constantly told what to do if I were to have kids, since I am already experiencing it now. His father is the same, if not worse, because I find him super creepy. He also had the mindset that you do everything for your family due to his culture. He expects me to do everything for him and be a perfect housewife. He is always commenting on my appearance and asks me what I am wearing whenever I see him and tells me I need to always look chic. When I go back home to the States he tells me not to come back fat. His mom and dad are both obsessed with my appearance and feel that they comment on my body weight, hair, tattoos, etc. In the first few months of dating his mom tried to schedule a tattoo removal appointment for me and always makes passive-aggressive comments saying how ugly tattoos are. I have 6. We go on vacation together every year, and one year my boyfriend and I were having a small argument in our room. When we came out his dad pulled me aside and told me we should never argue. His mom then later told me that love is about giving in order not to argue, and nothing was worth it to argue about, and there should only be peace between us. My BF also has this mindset that issues should just be resolved quickly through apologies and not really talked about. I hate this idea and do not think it's healthy at all. I would rather discuss things through and really feel heard and understood rather than just quickly apologize to and go back to thinking everything is fine. I have so many more examples, but I think this gives the picture that there are no boundaries in any way between his parents and us. I don't see things ever changing, but the issue is I feel like I'm in too deep. My life living abroad depends on them pretty much, as they have helped me get my visa, health insurance, apartment, etc. Things are so much more complicated due to me living abroad and not having a support system out here. I have felt so many times that I need to get out of this situation, but I feel stuck. I don't even know what steps I would take because it sounds expensive and complicated. It wouldn't just be a breakup, it would be lifting up my whole life I've created here and figuring out how to move everything overseas and legal paperwork, etc. Any advice? Should I leave? Anyone have a similar situation they could share and give me advice on how to make steps to get out? Comment. Leave. Now. Probably yesterday. Probably right after he snapped at you that you his parents everything. My advice? You'd be better off going back to the USA and being homeless. Don't become a barefoot and pregnant housewife to appease a couple of lunatics. Get your paperwork etc. in order, and next time you go back to the States don't go back. You'll never see daylight on your issues with either your BF or his parents. Sounds like they're insufferable. If you have a visa enabling you to live and work in the country you are living in, you are not beholden to BF family. It sounds like you his parents hold way bigger status in your life than they should. Have you made any friends outside of BF circle? If not, that's a problem. Good friends keep you grounded and supported, you can bounce ideas off them, be honest and vulnerable. If you have them, reach out to them for support and understanding. Because this family dynamic is bleeding you of confidence, autonomy, and happiness. None of which you have described is okay. You might love your man-child still, but soon his family and his self-love will choke that off. You don't need to give up living where you are, you worked for it. You have supported and loved your BF, you brought your best self to this relationship. It never goes just one way. You don't owe them or him anything anymore. Now think about how you would like your life to be. Because you get one shot. You won't be in your 20s forever. Now is a good time to truly look for the guy who can be that life partner you deserve. Or just take this time to be you. You know you are being abused, right? Can you picture this man-child as the father to your children? What if they are girls? You want Phil to nurse your little girl on his lap? Mill teaching your daughter how to be subservient to the men in her life? Your son learning from his grandfather and father the true value of his mother, sister, and other women? You get to choose who you spend your time and life with. And in this case, love will definitely not be enough. These people are completely controlling you. Financially, mentally, emotionally. You aren't allowed any freedom from them, and they are essentially planning how you're to live your life. You don't even get much of a vote. When you speak up, either you get yelled at or disregarded. You can't lead a decent life like this. They may pay the bills, but you're paying for it with your soul. Do you want to live your life as a puppet? Maybe have kids and bring them into this shitty scenario? They are absolutely abusive to you. They don't treat you as an individual, you're just a puppet they control to keep their precious boy happy. You are not a toy. You need to leave before you start to believe you are. Start working on an exit plan, get all important documents stashed and start squirreling away money for an escape fund. Hell, if you have gifts you don't need or want, sell them. It'll be easier to jump if you have a safety net. It'll be a tough thing, but you deserve to live your own life, not be a pretty puppet. You can do this. Next story 2. My daughter has the wrong last name, and it's my Mill's fault. I'll try to make this as short as possible. I hope this belongs here. So my Mill had 3 children with her first husband. He then disappears for about 2 years. Meanwhile, she meets someone else and they fall in love. She gets pregnant. Very shortly after, her husband shows back up. She makes him believe that the baby is his. The baby is my future boyfriend. My boyfriend has the last name of her husband. That relationship doesn't last. The truth comes out, but she never changes my boyfriend's last name. She gets together with his real dad and she has more children with him. All of her other children have the correct last name. Fast forward to now. My daughter is 16 months old. I always knew the story about the first husband, but I never knew about the last name situation. I never thought to ask. I just found out about the last name thing yesterday. I'm also pregnant with a boy, who will be my boyfriend's dad's first grandson. This is so crazy to me. But it doesn't seem to bother anyone, even my boyfriend. He's a great guy and I don't fault him at all. This is not his fault. But now something that my Mill did is affecting our little family. It really sucks that my kids are going to have a last name that belongs to someone that is not even blood related to them. I'm not really looking for specific advice. I don't think there's much I can do without causing a huge upset, but it definitely makes me lose respect for my Mill. Comment. Just give the baby your name. It's really no big thing. We women are expected to change our names when married and if we divorce. It's a minor annoyance. But at the end it's only a day at most of labor to change it. BF could easily change his name. Don't think on it. Doesn't you BF have this last name? I'm confused, do you want your son to have a different last name than his father? I'm sure your BF wants to have the baby have his last name or even your last name. I don't know why you are upset unless you actually are trying to get your BF to change his last name or you want your child to have a different last name than both you and his father. But your BF has the same last name, right? I wouldn't say it's the wrong last name if it's his name, and especially if the real dad didn't care to have it changed. A baby could be named Mickey Mouse on a birth certificate and it's the right name if that's what the parents sign off on. It's your BF's name and he is the father of your baby, so it sounds like the right name. I understand your concern. I'm just trying to put your mind at ease with it. I'm really into our family's genealogy, so if this were to happen to me, I would have changed my name because I would want my children to have their true family name, not some lowlife who abandoned his family and isn't even blood. Especially as he has siblings who do have their father's name, and I would make your mill pay for the name changes because it's her perfidy that started the whole mess. Why would she pass off her lover's baby as her estranged husband's instead of just leaving the loser and giving her child his father's surname? And what kind of man is okay with another man naming his son? You've really married into a circus. Congratulations on your pregnancy. Best wishes and many blessings.